I'm Mark Seifter.
And I'm Linda Zayas Palmer.
And this is Arcane Mark. Welcome to the first ever Arcane Mark Build an NPC workshop. Similar to the Build a Monster workshops, but this time building an NPC.
What it says on the tin.
That's right. It's different, but similar.
Yes.
Alright.
So, in general, what are some of the big differences between building a monster and building an NPC?
You could find that in the Game Mastery Guide.
So, Game Mastery Guide, you're looking at page 72 in your Game Mastery Guide?
That has all the differences where you can... it says NPCs might face more scrutiny around their mechanics than creatures because a player can more directly compare their rogue to an NPC who acts like a rogue. This doesn't mean you have to build an NPC exactly like a PC, though. You can build just like you would any other creature. If they should work like a class, you can use some class features from the class. If they don't need to do that, then you could just do something else. And we could start with the NPCs from the gallery if we wanted to. And low-level creatures tend to be extremely simple. It is recommended to select NPC skills using proficiency ranks as you would a PC, though you don't need to be precise about the number of skill increases. Maybe early skills if they're a skill-based NPC, and then they could have a non-combat level where certain abilities that they have, such as skills or sometimes will save and perception for social characters, are higher. For like a judge who, like, if you murder the judge in the back alley, it's very easy, but to actually trick the judge in court is harder.
So we're going to be doing that style of build today rather than the PC style build.
And,
which is the next thing listed here is
like using full PC rules. No, that would just be build a PC workshop.
Exactly.
But we could still use roadmaps for some of the different classes and abilities for some of the different classes that are on the next page after that. And all the other advice that's in here. So, let's see. To start us off, we're going to need a concept. Just like any other creature that we're building, an NPC is a creature of a sort. I mean, so is a PC.
Everyone is a creature.
Everyone is a creature if you use your imagination, which we have to use. So, let's see.
So we have our first suggestion, a Rooksy who looks like a druid but is actually a rogue.
Alright. There we go. That's our first concept. It's a Rooksy rogue that looks like a druid. Alright.
Looks like a druid.
Rico's concept is a character that refuses to imagine.
Character that refuses to imagine.
Yosarian's is a court jester who is secretly a spy.
Who is secretly a spy? Rico actually said, I refuse to imagine, but I'm going to... Rico says, that's not what I wrote. Quit adding depth to it. If you don't want, like, serious responses to your snarky comments, you may not be posting in the right chat. Maybe like Space
It
Bug.
sounds like the character that refuses to imagine is in denial about their own depth.
And is in denial about their own depth. Got it.
We also have Goblin Witch.
We have a Goblin Witch.
And a Sharkshasa Hunter.
A Sharkshasa Hunter.
Leshy Bard.
Leshy Bard
for the local Druid Fane.
Local Druid Fane.
Then we have a redeemed succubus, follower of Desna, master spy.
Can we just say a Rouchelet?
Maybe.
I'll just put a Rouchelet, because that is a Rouchelet.
We have a hobgoblin wizard fighter. Obviously, a hated exile from other hobgoblins for using elf magic.
Wizard fighter. Well, that makes an interesting concept right in there.
All right. The merchant that's totally insignificant, but the target society is incredibly important for some reason. You have to keep adding more and more depth. Wait, that's the one up there.
Character feats an island about their own depth is a merchant.
Yes, is a merchant. All right, thanks for subscribing, Jim.
Drendel Drang.
No, it's Drendel Drang.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You have to.
Drendel Drang. Yes, the original spelling. OG spelling.
Okay, 4 goblins in a trench coat pretending to be a Black Rose Museum worker.
4 goblins in a trench coat pretending to be a Black Rose Museum worker.
And then we have the goblin leader of a farming commune / cult.
A goblin leader of a farming commune / cult.
Okay, so that's a lot of good ones.
Well, no, that was the original spelling of Drendel Drang in the early scenarios.
It's at least...
It's one of the original spellings.
One time that it was spelled that way in an early scenario. Because there's Drendel Drenge was one of the ones.
Drendel Drenge, yeah. He has a lot of spellings.
So whether it's L-E or E-L, whether it's an E or an A after the D-R in the first name, and then the second name, and then sometimes there's an E at the end of the second name.
Wounded Wisp?
His spelling is different each time.
Oh, is that where he has that spelling?
That's where he has Drendel Drang.
Yeah, because for a moment there I thought Wounded Wisp was your character suggestion. It was like, wow, you're really going out there. You're like, your character is actually the tavern.
There you go. Or your character is actually a wounded wisp, the elemental wisp, and he needs some help. Where the wounded wisp is like, oh no.
Little rascally gobos with a fake beard.
I think that's similar to the 4 goblins in a trench coat. Right? Or no, maybe not. Maybe even though it says gobos, maybe it's like 1 goblin. And then Risky has Hobgoblin Sorcerer who believes that they've been cursed by, like, something with the horrible curse of wizardry. So presumably they're like an arcane sorcerer. They're like, no, I've been cursed with elf magic, no!
Halfling Sorcerer / Rogue. Mimic pretending to be a tavern. I think, jokes aside, I do think Mimic pretending to be a tavern is an idea for build
a monster workshop. Unless the Mimic was like so advanced it could also mimic like a tavern keeper inside as well. That was like, yeah, tell me your sorrows. Here, sit down on the stool. But alright, so we've got a bunch of them. Let's put them up onto all the ones that we have up onto the chat. We'll cut it off here for more ideas. We're gonna do we're gonna do what we did last time. So we're taking the current list of options, giving them numbers. We're gonna put them in. Then we'll start with everybody's able to vote for their top 3. Then we'll see which ones survive at that point, and then we will have everyone pick their favorite from there.
Google, how the heck did you know how to correct a Rouchelet spelling?
What? Obviously, Google knows how to correct a Rouchelet. I mean,
I must have had the word Rouchelet in another one of my documents.
I think I've been to enough Trek conventions that I know how to spell Melvar.
Must have had it in another Google Doc somewhere. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right. With 3 L's.
Melvar.
All right. Now, are you going to actually get to keep that formatting that you put in with the numbers because I feel like you won't because it's not actually numbers. It's auto formatted in Word.
Darn it! All right.
So I'm not sure why you did that.
Well, if let's see.
Also, I'm pretty sure Wounded Wisp is not an NPC idea.
You're right. All right. Well, let's just backspace here, right? Because I was typing them in literally, but then it was.
But now Ursula got re-misspelled.
I can unmisspell her name.
Yep.
All right. I just need to get it to not do the auto formatting.
All right. Let's see. Sheppy says we never called her Ursula, but pronounced it Shally, like Shelly. There you go.
8, 9,
Randall.
11,
12,
12,
13,
13,
14.
And there we go.
All right.
This is probably gonna hit character limit because it's.
Let's see if it does.
Yes.
Almost didn't. If we just didn't have that last one, it wouldn't have hit the character limit.
14.
Even though it was pretty simple, halfling, sorcerer, rogue. But that's what hit the character limit. All right. So vote for your favorite 3 of these, and there's no line returns because that's what Twitch chat does.
I might be able to get it to.
It's fine. It's fine. We don't have to put it in again. People are gonna start voting.
Fair enough.
Vote for your favorite 3. We'll carry those over. Then we'll vote for your top 1 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Xanthos' favorite is 8.
And 14 because those were Xanthos' proposals.
Yes.
All right. Numbat is 156. Can you put down these votes? I'll read them. You put them down.
All right. So you said 8.
8, 1, 5, 6.
1, 5, 6.
14.
14.
4, 5, 10.
4, 5.
10.
10.
9.
9.
6, 9.
6, 9.
1, 5, 8.
1, 5, 8.
11, 6, 3.
11, 6, 3.
5, 9, 12.
5, 9, 12.
1, 7, 8.
1, 7, 8.
3, 6, 11.
3, 6, 11.
2, 5, 8.
2, 5, 8.
1, 6, 12.
1, 6, 12.
9, 7, 11.
9, 7, 11.
And 14, 3, 6.
And 14, 3, 6.
There should be one vote for 2.
Yeah, there is. It's here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Pluses are
are
more than one.
Because Rico actually did vote for the character that was just made up of his statements that were not attempting to be a character.
Yeah, if the number isn't on here, it didn't get voted for, and if it's a plus, that's votes more than the number.
Fair enough.
So it looks like we have some pretty. So do we want to take ones that got at least 3 votes? So that would be 3, 5, 6.
No, 1 also.
Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 11.
1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 11. All right, these are the final 7 out of 13. Vote for 1. That doesn't mean you have to vote for the one that's number 1, but vote for 1 of these. All right.
9, 11, and I will start this down here.
Healer 0. I clarified.
You can't, Mark. You can't.
Right.
You can't You can't dish it out if you're not willing to take it.
That's right.
With people taking over literally. So let's see. That was 2 5s. 2 5s, 1, and then what's after 1? 11 I saw?
Alright, so 2 5s, 1 11, 5 1 8.
5 1
8.
8.
Then 9 6 6 11 5.
9 6 6 11 5.
Yep. Then 6.
Then 6.
Then 6 again.
Then 6 again.
Okay.
Alright, we're currently tied between 5 and 6 here.
Uh-oh, are we gonna have to find a way to make a character who is a Leshy Bard for the local Druid Fane who hunts Shark Shasas for the local Druid Fane? I think we have to do that now.
I think we do.
Okay. So, everyone, we're combining 5 and 6 because there's no mutually exclusive aspects of them. It is a Leshy Bard for the local Druid Fane who one of the things the Bard does is hunt Shark Shasas.
Druid Fane who hunts Shark Shasas.
Wow, I feel like we're making a Cypher system character. Leshy Bard for the local Druid Fane is the second thing who hunts Shark Shasas.
Yes, oh my god, it is a Cypher system character.
There you go.
Alright, Leshy's banned in my table, says Zathos. Leshy's are certainly not banned in mine.
There we go. So, that's what we've got.
Oh yeah, there's a comment. It's definitely strange. Yes, the strange. That's the one we would play.
All right.
Zathos is loading up the roundup now. Aww. Roundup is banned on this show.
Roundup?
Yeah.
What's Roundup?
To kill plants.
Oh, like a plant killer. Okay. Uh-oh. All right.
Kill it.
There we go. So, but a Leshy Bard for the local Druid Fane Shark Shasa.
You're not the first one to threaten my Leshy with Roundup, Zathos. John Compton did too.
Oh, wow. Out here in soybean world, it's a big product. That makes sense. All right. So we've got this Leshy Bard that is for the local Druid Fane that also hunts Shark Shasas.
Yeah, Zathos, we've always lived in, sort of city area-ish apartments, so we have never had a yard.
I mean, your house has a yard at home.
Well, yeah, but when I was growing up, I didn't have. Well, I had.
I had a tiny yard, but your house has a pretty big yard.
Yeah, no, it did, but I'm saying as an adult, I have not had a yard. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
But Risky says it makes sense. Leshies and druids would go after unnatural things like Rakshasa and Oni. Natural predators are squirrels, such as squirrel rangers. Uh-oh.
There we go. All right, so we're going to make this NPC.
Beware the squirrels.
It's going to be a Leshy. Mm-hmm. So, we do not have the all the things for Leshies for us in the NPC building guidebook. We know that plants usually have low light vision, and we also can probably figure out from Lost Omens character guide some information about Leshies to sort of approximate that section for the NPCs in the back of Game Master Guide, where it's like, well, just add this if you want to make the character a member of this ancestry. So
yeah, well, Leshies do have low light vision. They also have plant nourishment.
So
the one about their
that's long, but we should for a published stat block, it would be rough because you'd probably have to write the whole thing and then. But this is not a published stat block, so let's just give them plant nourishment because they would have it. Although I guess all plant NPCs and monsters have it, and we only say it for the ancestry.
Yeah, so I guess we probably wouldn't say here they do have it. We only say it for the ancestry because people actually have to care about how they eat.
Playing your character.
Yes.
So
we don't have to mention that here, probably.
Yes. So one thing is that Sylvan is one of the languages they speak.
Languages, Common and Sylvan. Mm-hmm. And they do have low light vision. And the speed defaults to 25 feet.
Yep. Alright. Let's see. Oh, Hero Lightbringer is wondering what a Sharkshasa is. And people explain. Yes. In fact, not only does Sharkshasa exist, but also Sheppy, who is on the chat right now, drew a Sharkshasa for us. And then Steven Glicker from Roll for Combat made a t-shirt of it on his t-shirt shop. So
let me find that.
You can now buy a shirt of a Sharkshasa that says Arcade Mark and also Roll for Combat.
Here, oh yeah, it's actually the most recently created shirt. Arcade Mark Sharkshasa t-shirts.
There you go. Because when life gives you a hammer for a head, every problem looks like a nail. Aha, Sheppy has given a Destructoid,
Thanks for the cheer, Sheppy.
Cheer, thank you very much. Also, our Sharkshasa from Arcade Mark, I think, is, like, the official, like, monster picture for RPG Superstar this year.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I mean, Steven Glicker asked if he could use it, and I said to check with Sheppy, and he said that's not going to be a problem because I always use Sheppy for my art now. Where is... He probably has a link to it. Oh, it's just rpgsuperstar.com now. Where is it? I actually don't see it up there right now, and I now see a pretty cool, like, the cover of the Monster Zoo situation as the new piece of art. But at least in one of earlier on, I thought I saw the Sharkshasa up there. Oh, there it is. It's in a blog. Making an Awesome Monster by Owen. It uses the Sharkshasa.
Yes, excellent. May the Sharkshasa spread.
Mm-hmm. I knew it was on there somewhere. Alright. Power of the Sharkshasa.
And I think we've got the stats for that guy pinned. And
also, I'm not sure that what you put up was an actual link.
Let's see. Oh, it had a little bit of extra random stuff in the beginning. Let's try that again.
All right, try it again. There you go.
There we go.
All right. So
why? The question is, why would a shark eat a plant? And answer: they thought it was an impossible heritage lesson. Vegan meat.
The story was like, why do they single out Sharkshasa's bad experience at the beach?
Now imagining
Hero Lightbringer asks if I've noticed that Steven always mispronounces my last name when discussing me. I actually did not. A lot of people mispronounce my last name like Sifter or
Sifter
or something like that, but I would think that Steven wouldn't because he actually watches this show a fair amount. And if there's one thing you learn from this show, I mean, it's probably not like good GMing styles or how to build things or anything. It's that I'm Mark Seifter
and I'm
she's
Linda
Palmer, and this is Arcade Mark.
Yes.
So I would figure that someone who watched the show would be hard. Like you would actually hear Mark Seifter enough times.
Yeah.
All right.
I certainly hear Mark Seifter a lot more often now, like, because you don't usually just use your last name in day-to-day life.
I don't usually go up to you and say,
Linda,
I'm Mark Seifter, would like to tell you something.
Please don't start doing that.
But you said you might need to hear it more.
No. I said I don't usually. It doesn't mean that I do need. He's totally going to call himself Mark Seifter now for a little while. This is what I brought up.
Use Mark Seifter instead of I.
Mark Seifter believes that it's time for breakfast.
That's right. He uses Stifer.
Stifer?
Okay.
Well, that's not right at all.
Or I could be Cypher, like in Final Fantasy VIII. Or Sliper, the Sky Dragon. There's a lot of possibilities here.
Mm-hmm. Numbat is correct. Squirrel.
Alright, so let's go back to the lesson.
Back before, David said, now imagining a zoo that's more of a hotel for intelligent monsters. Dragon drops in, gets fed, and you get to see it. And they're just like, yes, we have convinced these fools to feed us regularly.
That's right.
Not the Pokemon, said Misty. Just change your name to Mark Pathfinder.
Mark Pathfinder. I think that's probably not a great choice. Alright, so we've got our Leshy. So let's ask a different thing, which is, before we put the plant trait on it for sure, what kind of Leshy is this Leshy? And
Swiper, no swiping, Trippy. Trippy said Swiper the Foxy...
Mark Swiper.
Mark Swiper, the Foxy Rogue. Yes, Swiper, no Swiper.
So the question is, and we don't have to pick one of the heritages that are already out there for PC Leshies, because we can speculatively just do something else.
David says, was tempted to change to Black Girls while getting married. Mother would never forgive me.
David and Lisa Blackrose.
Well, Lisa would have to change her name first, because that's how those names pass down.
There you go.
Seaweed Leshy, Kelp Leshy. The question is, what kind of Leshy is this?
That's what I asked. And they're starting to answer with seaweed, kelp. Because they are Leshy that are trying to fight against Sharkshasas for the local druid circle. Sea anemone Leshy. Is sea anemone actually a plant though?
Yeah, it's an animal.
I think it's an animal.
So it looks like okay, kelp.
Kelp
and
is
seaweed.
Really doing well here. All right. Sargassum. David says no animal.
Algae
Leshy.
Throon
Leshy. All right.
I'm Throon Leshy.
You're Throon Leshy.
Yeah.
Water Lily Leshy.
Water Lily Leshy, Algae or Sargassum.
Okay, so I think that kelp is ahead.
Lily Pad Leshy.
Lily Pad Leshy. Yeah, it looks like kelp is ahead. So let's go for a kelp Leshy. Because as Numbat says, kelp is strong and very good at entangling. Alright.
Okay, so we've got a kelp Leshy.
We do. So we know it's a kelp Leshy. It has this Leshy has bard-like qualities. Works for Druid Circle, so may have a few Druid tricks up their sleeve as well. Have a little bit of Druid in there. And he's a Sharkshasa fighter. So let's bring up, just for a moment, let's look at the stat block for Sharkshasas, which should be on Arcane Mark in the
Discord.
In the Discord.
Speaking of which,
does invite.gg still not work?
I have not. I've not then gone into.
So invite.gg broke, and then Linda disinvited the bot.
And then reinvited the bot to try to fix it, and it said, please try again later. So,
it did not work
if you're not already part of the Discord, I don't unfortunately have a persistent link for YouTube now, but I will go ahead and link a link. This link expires in 1 day.
I thought there is one that has like 80-some... I checked the invites.
Well, if we can find that one that works. But yes.
Alright, well, there's the picture of the Sharkshasa as well.
It should be in the
let's see,
the workshops channel.
Yeah, I'm on the workshop.
It should be pinned.
Oh, but how do I get to the ones that are pinned?
Click on the pin button.
Oh, well, I found it anyway. So it's a level 8 creature that lives underwater, obviously because it's a Sharkshasa. It does a Bleeding Terror effect, which is a emotion, fear, mental, and can possibly cause you bleed. It's got blood scent, it changes shape, can breach out of the water, commune with sharks, and resist physical except piercing. So, plus it is a 8th level creature, so we probably want something that can at least, if it's a hunter for Sharkshasas, that is at least high enough level that it can fight Sharkshasas. Risky suggests it has an atavistic aria where a creature that's been an immortal that's been reincarnated over possible lives gets screwed over by it, which is functionally kind of similar to what is the name of that spell? The spell from Age of Ashes that
That's really cool thematics on a Leshy too, because Leshies have so many different prior bodies. They also have
past lives. Let's see. It's sort of similar but different to spiritual anamnesis. I'm bad at pronouncing it. I'm as bad as other people are at pronouncing Cipher. Let's see. I think it's anamnesis.
Yeah.
Where memories of a past life that seem incredibly real overwhelm the target's mind. And it's definitely a little bit too mean to some of those fiends for something that we would want to like have out there everywhere, since you pretty much win against the fiend if you keep spamming this on them. But
we could give something like this to an NPC.
We could give something like that to an NPC.
Because it's an uncommon ability. So, but that's a 4th level spell. So if we have an ability, on that power level, that also tells us some more things about how high level this creature is.
And it's got to be at least level 8 if it hunts Sharkshasas. In fact, if it hunts Sharkshasas alone, it should be at least a level higher than them, or else how has it survived multiple hunts with Sharkshasas? Statistically, maybe it wouldn't.
So is this the thing? Is this like a special ability that's based off of this that functions the same as this?
Well, it's on the occult list, so it could just flat out have spiritual anamnesis from Age of Ashes. Tomorrow Must Burn, although it is uncommon. If we don't want to have to reproduce a similar effect, just due to the fact that it's very similar to what Risky's talking about.
So then, let's just give it that spell, spiritual, how do you spell that?
Anamnesis.
Anamnesis, okay.
Amnesis.
Alright, okay, so it has a 4th level spell, spiritual,
So what does everyone think? Does everyone think level 9 for this Sharkshasa Hunter, so that it's stronger than the Sharkshasa? But maybe not that much stronger than a Sharkshasa, and can hunt Sharkshasas for the local druid circle. Or, sorry, it's a local druid thane.
Yes.
Let's see, 8 or 9, depending on how challenging we want it. Yeah, I would say the question is...
Are they a solo hunter of Sharkshasas, or do they team hunt Sharkshasas?
And have they hunted several Sharkshasas successfully, in which case we would expect they're a little stronger than a Sharkshasa. Okay, so it looks like some people are also saying 9, so let's go with 9 for this NPC. Alright, so we got
a level 9 Kelplushy Bard, we have the Spiritual Anemona is a...
Let's see, Eltro says maybe they need players to help. Well, if they are a Sharkshasa hunter, though, they've probably done it in the past, but they might need players to help anyway, because Sharkshasas come with minions and sea devils and sharks and all sorts of other things.
So catching a Sharkshasa with their pants down, you're not necessarily going to be able to do that.
Yep. Alright, so we've got this level 9 Kelplushy Bard, and we know that when it comes to building a level 9 Bard, that
the class roadmap.
The class roadmap says that we're gonna take moderate occultism, high performance, high charisma based skills, high charisma, low fortitude, moderate to high will, low to moderate hit points, low accuracy, high to extreme spell DC, spontaneous occult spellcasting as a bard of their level, composition spells. Plus there's some suggestions for some bard feats.
Yes.
For instance, Dirge of Doom, or Melodious Spell, or Steady Spell Casting. So, we can figure that one out. Dirge of Doom would be a nice counterpoint to the song that, or sorry, the aura ability of the Sharkshasa. All right, and Trippy Darling says make sure to add nature since it's a Leshy. That's right. This isn't just any bard. This is one that works for the local druid circle. So let's see what druid would want in there. We want some nature. Nothing else that would make that much sense for a bard that works for the druids, because those other things are based on like druid statistics. It also, if the bard is actually a member of the druid circle and has a little bit of druid powers, they might speak druidic because of being a druid just barely.
I like that.
All right, that makes sense. And we could also give the...
I mean, I know in some of my earlier conceptions of Leshies just spoke Druidic.
Yep. But then I think you didn't do that in 2nd edition because of the fact that it makes it... They don't have an anathema of teaching Druidic to people.
Yes, exactly.
It makes it
so
hard
then it would
with
make
it being a secret language.
Yes, exactly.
Alright. So, then we also have to think about... maybe we should give them wild empathy, too. Since druids often have that, and that can be like a very low impact interaction ability that now says we've got a little bit of druid in here. Alright. So, so we have this Leshy bard that works for the druid circle and hunts the Sharkshasas.
Some monkey says in response to catching Sharkshasas with their pants down, some Sharkshasas don't even wear pants to prevent that.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go. So, also, minor squirrel, but I realized that, forgot to say this, a bunch of product announcements went up just because they got solicited and they're on Paizo.com, so now it is now known that the beginner box is a thing that exists, which a few days ago, it wasn't.
So now you know what Mark's been working on.
Yes. It is a product that is close enough to now that it's very weird that we had not announced it before the date for solicitations. But yes, a beginner box will happen. Alright, I will now put my own squirrel in there to indicate that I have a squirrel.
Let's see. There were still some more messages in there.
Oh.
Let's see. Talking about what's primary, like Bard primary, Ranger primary, Bard dedication, Druid primary, Bard secondary. So there's some suggestion in there to flip it around. But I think that the concept we took was for a bard. However, it's an NPC. So if any of you have a thing that is in Ranger that really makes sense for this character because they're hunting Sharkshasas and you want to give them like hunt prey or some kind of Sharkshasa hunting thing, just put it up here. We can add it in. We can add in whatever we want to this NPC. It's not exactly a PC. Yep.
Just we shouldn't add too many abilities because the point of NPCs is they're simplified down. They don't have too many abilities. Their numbers are maybe a little bit better than a PC would have gotten. So let's actually go back through the numbers for now before we make too many more abilities because we have our roadmap, right?
Yes, we do.
So I think we can select a lot of things. So let's select, let's see. Let's select our alignment. We know our size is small. And our traits.
And we have the Leshy trait.
And plant.
And the plant trait.
But what about alignment?
What's the alignment of our Sharkshasa friend?
I'm personally thinking neutral or neutral good for like the classic druid having some element of neutralness, and then fighting Sharkshasas probably means being a different alignment than evil. Let's see. Does the Sharkshasa have a rage-like ability? I believe that they don't. That they have, they have some occult spells. They have a bleeding terror where you get frightened and then take bleeding damage. So if they had things that would prevent fear, that would be good against the Sharkshasa because then you wouldn't take bleed damage. And then they can communicate with sharks and breach. But moving back, what was the question I asked before?
Alignment.
Oh yeah, alignment. What alignment do people think? While we're doing that, while we're getting an alignment, let's put in the ability modifier. So we knew that we were supposed to have...
we know we're supposed to have high charisma.
high charisma, but is there a different thing that talks about like ability scores for NPCs and
what the total should be?
no, or just like it says in the designing NPCs that sometimes players scrutinize them a little bit more. So let's grab a high charisma that is still like possible for a 9th level PC to have.
Mm-hmm.
So right now high charisma says +6. That is above what a 9th level PC could have. In fact, a 10th level PC would have +5, so we could still pick +5. It's very close. And they don't exactly get them up every 5 levels, so the NPC could have gotten it a little sooner. Alright, several neutral good choices, so let's pick neutral good for alignment.
Alright, so we have neutral good, small, less.
Trippy points out that Inspire Courage already gives you a bonus against fear, which is true. Yosarian says, sound has interesting properties underwater. It's louder and travels more forcefully. With sperm whales, the diver's going to stare near them a short time because they start getting too hot from the sound waves of the whale's clicking abilities, which could be a weird ability. You're right about that, Yosarian. I remember when I was researching for Aquatic Adventures, all the different types of energy being underwater.
That's really
and
cool.
With Sonic, it's more dispersed in some ways, but also it goes over a really wide area. Alright. So, let's go. Oh, so we got +5
charisma.
for charisma.
So we need strength, dex, con, int, and whiz.
Yes.
So whiz is probably pretty good because of for nature and the druidic connection.
That makes sense. So here's another thing. The Sharkshasa's will save is pretty bad, but it has a huge status bonus to all saves versus magic and divine magic. So we probably actually want to give this character, despite being a bard, who also has a little bit of druid, maybe, and just a tiny bit with wild empathy, maybe a little bit of ranger. We probably want to give the bard that wizard feat that lowers spell resistance, because, or either that or the bards are gonna have to like melee or ranged attack down this Sharkshasa, because those saving throw bonuses are huge.
Yeah. So what is that?
Let's see.
I
know there's a wizard feat that like lowers the spell resistance equivalent, and it is a little higher level than you would normally have, but it's only... Oh, no, that's Overwhelming Energy is a different one.
You alter your spells to overcome resistances?
No, that's a different one.
Because that's probably energy resistance.
Where is it? Yeah, that's energy resistance. I don't even see it on the list right now. But it's a real...
Was it in the core rulebook?
Yeah. Oh, it's a 6th level.
Oh, spell penetration.
It was lower level than I thought. Spell penetration. So we can take spell penetration so that we can reduce the Sharkshasa's ridiculous anti-magic bonus down from +2 to +1. So that will at least allow us to fight it using magic if we want to, which I think we probably do. So then we've got a +5 for charisma.
So what are so we need our other ability scores too.
Yeah, Leshy's in general. You wrote them. What are their boosts? Wisdom.
Constitution and wisdom are generally boosts, and int is their penalty. Yep.
Okay. So it's a 9th level Leshy. Maybe we could give like +0 on int. And give con as +3. Let's see. So yeah, we could give con as con and wisdom as +3s. And dexterity as maybe dexterity is +3. As well.
And then strength is 0?
Yeah, that could probably work.
Or do we want to give her strength too?
Let's see. So if we could give a strength of 0, but let's give strength of 1.
Strength of 1, okay.
Okay. So I
Because our total ability modifier here is 15.
Right.
Our total pluses. And how does that compare to like what a PC could?
At level 10, when which they're about to be at, the PC would have, if they didn't keep putting up their 18 that they started with, they would have like up to 17. But since they could have put it into 18s twice, they would have 15.
Yeah.
So
then that's just about right.
That seems just about right. Plus, if we're talking about and they're not actually druid exactly, although maybe they are, so maybe they have to wear leather armor, in which case actually let's give them no strength, but give them 4 dex, and then just say that they're wearing leather.
Sounds good. So
or
then...
we could alternatively give them 3 and 2 and have them in hide armor or something like that. We should probably give them an armor that is not anathemic to the druids. Alright, now let's see. There's also some other things. Con for holding breath, strength for swimming. That's a good
strength
point.
for swimming. Yeah,
maybe
right,
we should go back. Maybe give them 2 dex and 3 strength.
2 dex and 3 strength? Yeah, so they can swim. And then hide armor would be in that case.
Yeah, and then hide armor.
Alright, so that...
Shark skin.
Oh, but shark skin leather...
Shark skin leather. Oh, that's a good point.
Shark hide?
It could be shark hide.
Yeah. Because maybe shark... Yeah.
Shark hide. Shark skin hide armor.
Shark skin hide armor. And Risky said, but Bard is a cult, which I think is a reference to the spell penetration being normally wizard. But we can bend things around when we're using NPCs.
Yep.
And some kind of entangling or straight blade attack.
That's right.
Sorry, and I think that
in fact, instead of just giving spell penetration, we could also give like
because it was suggesting against things that reincarnate take penetration.
Or even just like an anti-fiend penetration that reduce it by 2, but only for fiends.
So anti-fiend spell penetration
reduces their weird bonus by 2, but only
reduce weird bonus.
Their status bonus
by 2 for fiends. I'll look up I'll look up the like tidy way to put this. Yes. I mean, I don't clean things up entirely to full publication standards before posting them on Arcade Mark, but I do tidy them up a little bit.
So, also, if our weapon should be a piercing weapon, both because of underwater and because of Shark Shasa. Unfortunately for the Shark Shasa, the one type of weapon that hurts it the most is also the one that works well underwater.
Yep.
So some kind of piercing.
Oh, big shark mouth is the hoodie from the armor. That's
there
awesome.
You go. So, for instance, the Bard might have actually a long spear. The Leshy Bard to try to stab Shark Shasa.
And Garland says shark fin gloves or boots for a bonus to athletics checks for swimming. So we can describe it as like wearing shark fin gloves or boots, but we don't for an NPC we don't have to like give them a magic item to justify their abilities. We can just be like we can just give them an athletics bonus and then tell ourselves like, oh yeah, that's because it has this shark fin gloves and things like that.
Yep. So let's go.
Harpoon, says Risky.
We carry
and Trippy says harpoon too. So I think we're going. I like harpoon. Let's do harpoon.
Is that actually a weapon though?
Is it a weapon? Let's make sure it's a weapon.
Because since it's not like an unarmed attack, so we would have to redefine the weapon if it doesn't exist.
All right. Well, let's see what's close to a harpoon at least.
Let's see. I like harpoon a lot. I just don't know if it's actually a thing. I mean, we could give it. We could make the harpoon during the build an item workshop next on Tuesday the 31st.
But yeah, that's a good point. If there aren't harpoons yet.
Yeah, we're not doing a build an item workshop yet.
Then we should probably pick whatever is most similar to harpoons.
Trident is a possibility. Long spear is a possibility. Those are stabbing. Spear is sort of like a harpoon because you can throw it. Of course, you can't throw things too far underwater. While we're thinking about that, let's go and fill in some more numbers. So we got the ability modifiers, right?
Yes, we did.
Did our roadmap say anything about perception?
Our roadmap did not say anything about perception.
How did our wisdom wind up? 3?
Our wisdom wound up 3.
Okay.
So our perception's probably pretty good.
So, yeah, our perception's, as a bard with 3 is probably, like, maybe moderate, so we can do 18. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right.
Because bards aren't like specifically known for being amazing at perception.
Well, and also to get high, we probably would
need to do
even more than 3 wisdom.
But I mean, isn't the guidance that generally, if it's not
if it's not on the roadmap, do moderate.
Then do moderate.
Yes.
Yes.
We've got some languages already.
We got languages. Yeah.
Let's see what people have been
saying.
It
probably doesn't have more languages because it's
We need to build a harpoon and a harpoon launcher. Bonus workshop soon. Well, we have built an item workshop on the 31st. It could be a mundane weapon.
Oh, the plastic rings that connect 6 picks.
Hoger hook as a huge shark fishing hook. The plastic rings. Just has to be piercing to avoid bad aquatic combat penalties. Rico, also, the Shark Shasa has a pretty heavy resistance to all physical damage except piercing.
Yeah, Shark Shasa has resist 10 physical except piercing.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So, there's numerous reasons why we definitely need to make sure we're doing piercing damage. So let's see, skills. Our roadmap actually told us some things about skills.
It did. Moderate occultism, high performance, and high charisma-based skills, and we also know that we want nature.
So we picked a particularly low intelligence for this character, though, so we probably actually are going to have to take a low occultism, despite the roadmap.
Yes.
So let's take plus 16 occultism.
But nature we can do moderate, because we have wisdom.
We sure can, which is
moderate?
plus 18.
Plus 18?
Yep.
And
then we take
high performance.
20 performance, which is high. That's 9 plus 14.
And then what other high charisma-based skills do we want? Is this are we a diplomacy, bluff, or intimidation type? Or
That's
deception? Just some deception.
Yeah, not bluff.
Apologies.
Also, Yosarian says it might have fishing lore, and Risky says it might have surfing lore.
I like fishing lore.
Because sharks are fish, after all.
Fishing lore, it's like so ominous. It's like, I have fishing lore. I'm gonna... Alright, so that's probably would be the same as the occultism then. Because it's int-based.
Or Rakshasa lore. Yeah, it's int-based, so it should be probably the same as the occultism. Risky says intimidation. This leshy means business.
This leshy means business. I'll put intimidation on there.
Alright. And maybe the Leshy has both diplomacy and deception, but they're not at high like the other ones. Maybe they're just at low because they're only trained in low.
Yeah, so,
and they're at 16.
So diplomacy 16, deception 16, but...
And Trippy puts out wild empathy, uses diplomacy, so you definitely need to have it.
Yeah.
Since we're giving wild empathy. That is a good point, Trippy.
Good point.
So we definitely need to have it. Alright,
add fishing... sorry, can you flip back for a moment? Add a fishing and a fishing lore. Alright, fishing lore.
L-U-R-E.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
That's fishing lore and fishing lore.
I'll just say... I guess I'll just call it fishing set or whatever for now for like, or fishing kit for stuff that's used for fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need...
Alright.
So that'll cover the lure and the bait and the rod and all that kind of stuff.
So, let's see. As a 9th level character, it looks like that instead of having a +1 armor, we can have a +1 striking of whatever our weapon is.
Sounds good.
Pretty easily. The +1 armor's at the height of what we could have.
He's checking the safe items chart.
On the safe items chart, which is on page 61.
And then Nabet said a more general undersea lore.
So there definitely is forest lore.
Yeah.
So an undersea lore could be a possibility, but the question is, do we want that or fishing lore for the like I'm just fishing with the Sharkshasa humor? Because either of those could be a lore. Also, what did it say? Did our roadmap say anything for armor class?
No, it didn't.
All right, so let's go with probably moderate then. Let's see. It would be if it doesn't have a +5. Yeah, that's probably right because there's a 9 + 2 for level 21 plus. Yeah, it comes out a little low because we didn't give it the +1 armor, but it's only off by 1 from what a PC would have, so I think that's totally fine.
So what is it?
27.
27.
That's the moderate. We could also give it 26 if we wanted it to exactly add up to trained proficiency plus the height armor plus the...
Nah, well, it's got low mod HP, so I'd rather not ding the AC also.
Alright. Sounds good. Speaking of which, let's go to saving throws. So, we said it was moderate to high, will. And
moderate to high will and low fortitude.
Okay. So, it has a...
But this guy's pretty heavy on constitution.
Pretty good wisdom, but not, like, amazing. So, let's go moderate will.
And let's go moderate. We should probably go moderate fort 2 then, right? Or do we go low on that?
So, let's see. We would probably go low isn't too bad. Even with its con, if we assume it's trained in...
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. Because it wouldn't have this reflex.
Fortitude, whereas...
And then will is
if it's master in will, then it would be also about at the moderate.
Yeah.
And then its reflex... its dex is actually even lower.
Yeah.
But let's say that's... well, 15's about right as well, if it's an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So its saves aren't great, which sometimes happens to NPCs.
Yeah, saves aren't great, and AC is fine. So then we need...
Saves being low is definitely could hurt it against the Rakshasa, except that the Rakshasa mostly uses will saves, which actually are not too terrible.
So, low, moderate HP.
Alright. So, low to moderate HP.
Let's err on the side of moderate since its other defenses are...
it does have higher con.
It has higher con.
We could imagine a bard that has toughness and gets... What would that be? 12 times 9, 108 plus less sheet things. So, let's put it... low to moderate, let's put it in between. So, 120 is the highest low, 151 is the lowest moderate. Let's put it at, like... 130. What do you think?
Sounds good. So it's in between because it has good con, but it's not like ridiculous con.
Yep. Loving is wondering if this is top-down design. Yes, the original concept was a Leshy bard who works for a local druid fane and hunts Rakshasas. All right. It was 2 concepts that tied in the voting.
Yes.
Alright, so immunities, weaknesses, and resistances it wouldn't need to have. We've got its speed. As a kelp leshy, do you think it has a swim speed of 25 also?
Yeah, I think it's got a swim speed.
That's picked up at some point, because the Rakshasa sure is fast in the water.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to outrun a Rakshasa in the water, but it will be. It can outrun a Rakshasa on land. Yes.
Rakshasa can swim circles around it, but at least it has 25.
It should be an instrument.
Warlock says it needs to have an instrument that works underwater or singing. So it's strike, attack bonus. Nothing was stated about. Oh no, it was low.
It's low,
which makes sense given the situation.
Yeah, because it's using its strength.
Yep. So it would using its strength.
Or they're using their strength.
Yes, we don't know, but it should be they or
they,
he or she.
Yes.
Depending on what we do.
Yep.
So if 15's about right, or 16's about right, like,
16? Because it's got a plus 1 striking weapon?
Which is the low.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because 15 is what a PC would exactly have there, and it's close enough.
Yep.
Instruments, possible instruments, conch shell, drums,
or a visual, like synchronized swimming for Inspire.
Synchronized swimming dance. A swimming dance. Alright. And,
so, strike damage...
It depends on what
weapon we pick.
And it's going to be low anyway, because we can
it's plus 1 striking, so it's going to be 2d whatever it is, plus something.
2d whatever it is, plus something.
Yes.
So useful. Alright, but true. Spell DC and attack roll is going...
It says high to extreme spell DC.
Yep, but if you look into spell DC where it talks about the extreme numbers, they become standard for spellcasters at level 15 and higher on page 65.
Yep, so then it would be...
We've not reached that point, so we're probably closer to the high DC.
Alright, so what's our high DC?
In fact, if we were a PC, we would have exactly the high DC of 28 because we'd be an expert in occult spells and with a plus 5. If we were a PC who had that ability score, we would have a 28.
So our spell DC is 28. A living blowfish bagpipes with a living blowfish familiar as the bag. I love this.
This is hilarious. Alright, so our spell DC is 28, and we can have our spell attack bonus be plus 18, even though monsters sometimes have a higher spell attack bonus than 10 lower due to the fact that it's got to be in there for monsters who are like magical strikers, and their regular attack bonus is also very high. But this is not, so we can just do a regular and yeah, because magical strikers kind of throw that off a little bit.
So now we
have to pick.
Now
we have a bunch
of spells and composition spells. So we know. So spells is a 9th level bard. How many spells do we have to pick to be a 9th level bard? Let's see.
A lot.
A bard. Okay.
This is definitely the longest part of an NPC. Is when they're a spellcaster.
So let's go to the bard and figure out how many we gotta
give the blowfish manual dexterity so it can press some of the buttons on the back.
Just gonna. Okay. Blowfish familiar.
All right.
Blowfish familiar plus bagpipe. I gotta write this one down. This one's just too good to wait.
All right. This is gonna be a pretty complicated NPC with the familiar and all of that spellcasting, but.
Well, do we ever make anything that's as simple as a typical thing on the show?
I mean, the shark shasa doesn't have that much more than you'd put into a monster. Most of our monsters are actually pretty reasonable.
So I'd like to, and based on the idea from before about complicated from this group, says Numbat. Yeah,
that's what I'm
based on your Sarian's idea before about heat and sound, I'd like to give some kind of heat or sound based damaging spell.
Well, so let's look on the list of occult spells.
Well, let me figure out how many we need to give them.
A lot.
I know it's a lot.
Okay, so it's gonna be two 5th level spells and 3 of everything else except for 5 cantrips.
All right, so we got 2.
That's without looking it up though, so you can look up if you want. Oh, okay. Fair enough. So
2, 3. Third is 3. Second is 3. First is 3. And cantrip is 5. And we do at least have one of our 3rd level or 4th levels chosen already.
Yep. Let's grab synesthesia for a 5th level. Because it can rewire a creature's senses, which can provide a debuff to the shark shasa to help out.
Sounds good.
But then we also probably want something that is we probably want some direct attacks in here.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that we have to win against the shark shasa eventually with this character.
What about synaptic pulse to slow them down?
Synaptic pulse is very good to get rid of those.
Oh, that doesn't need
No, but it's pretty good to get rid of those minions. They'll just go pulse.
Yeah.
It's not great if you're the only person who's there.
Oh, yeah, I see what it does. Okay, I was just looking at the short
if it's used to soloing. No, Synaptic Pulse is actually an amazing spell to fight against a Shark Shasa with a bunch of shark minions if you're not alone.
Yeah.
And we might want to consider it anyway for that reason.
Well, I was thinking about, but for slowing things down, I was thinking about the fact that the Leshy has a disadvantage in speed in the water.
That's a good point. Let's see if anyone else has said things. So people have suggested Shadow Blast. Jim says Magic Missile for a 1st level spell.
Black
as
Tentacles.
A good backup. Black Tentacles made of kelp as a way to try to hold on to things. Do the tentacles...
do they work underwater?
Do they work well underwater? It has to be adjacent to a flat surface, which you're not always underwater, so that can make it tricky. Let's see.
That would have been really good if it didn't have to anchor to a surface, though.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What about Cloak of Colors?
Oh yeah, that also messes up
surround
attackers.
itself with a cloak of colors, and then those sharks get blinded or stunned when they dare to attack a Leishi.
So suggestions. So Cloak of Colors is a suggestion here.
Mm-hmm.
Time to write a spell, says Numbat. That's another workshop.
Yep. Does not detection work against mind reading? It would. So
some protection there. That's good. What level is non-detection? Is that on this list? I think it's on the bard list. I feel
Yeah,
like
but it's lower level. It's like third. Yeah.
Third level. Alright, I'll go ahead and put non-detection in there.
So for 4th level...
And magic missile at first.
For 4th level, let's see what we've got here. So
what are we going with the Cocoa colors?
Amnesis. I don't know. We have some suggestions, so let's move to the other levels.
Yeah, sounds good.
Phantasmal Killer would be hilarious if you actually killed the shark with fear. And I mean, you probably won't.
Your starring says, could you repurpose whirling scarves as whirling kelpie bits? What is whirling scarves?
It's a spell for like Savannah and some of the other scarf-based deities in Gods of Magic. A lot of these we like doing kelp with the tentacles and kelp with the scars. We probably could, but in terms of building an NPC, like putting in all of those bespoke elements does make it fairly complicated. Then again, this isn't a published NPC, so we don't have to.
I missed the beginning. What kind of NPC are we
Oh,
building?
let's tell Akadoken. I really like these ideas for the reflavored spells, by the way. I'm sort of thinking of it also from the direction of like putting out the NPC for people to use at the same time. Akadoken, we're building a Leshy Bard with a little bit of Druid because they work with the local Druid Fane to hunt Shark Shasas. Kitsune Warlock says that remove fear is critical against the Shark Shasa. Well, we were mentioning that anti-fear is good. Inspire Courage helps with that as well.
So I saw remove fear, also illusory creature.
Illusory Creature is a great spell overall.
What level is that?
It's very low level, so you can take it as a signature spell. It is level 2.
Oh, at level 2. Illusory creature. And
do we have Phantasmal Killer as a possibility?
Yeah, I can put Phantasmal
For
Killer
4th.
in, and then I saw one other one in there. Phantasmal Killer,
Can Phantom Seed summon a female?
Right, the other
Only
one's
if
remove
it
fear.
says that it can. Remove Fear is a 2nd level as well.
And then remove fear.
Let's see. We could also, since we know we're hunting Shark Shasas, take the 4th level spell immunity. Potentially.
Are there any spells that help you swim? Or
Oh
move
wait,
faster?
actually, the Shark Shasa's spells aren't that dangerous.
No, it's
for us.
Heroism, fear. Yeah, it does have fear, but like...
We probably don't need spell immunity to beat the Shark Shasa.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Anything here that's gonna help us swim.
That helps us swim as fast as the Shark Shasa does?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. But we might be able to take Dimension Door if we want to, like, teleport 120 feet through the water. And then stab it once. We have to take 3 4th level spells, eventually.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of 3rd level spells, we were talking about non-detection.
Well, haste does speed people up.
Oh yeah, haste gives you more actions. And also, if you do want to slow, it is Fortitude, which the Shark Shasa is good at. But we could have slow.
I think hasting is better than... Would be better
Haste
than slow.
ourselves.
Haste ourselves and our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Then you don't have to worry about the Shark Shasa's Fortitude.
Yep, that makes sense. And, let's see. And yeah, Vampiric Touch is also Shark Shasa's Fortitude. So, and... Also, potentially...
Haste.
Yeah, so... Whereas Paralyze is not good for us because we're a one-on-one. It's another one of those, like, Synaptic Pulse that is amazing for a PC, but not so good for a one-on-one.
There's a lot more ideas that are coming in here.
Yep. Trippy says, if we had Fly, it would help get away if we're not too deep in the water.
Let's see. Stinking Cloud. Oh, the scroll is really bad on this one. Can I see here? On this one.
Calm Emotions.
Okay, so I saw, like,
Invisibility at 4th for invisibility at 4th for the sort of greater
invisibility at 4th. Animus Mind. Hallucinatory Terrain.
To summon a kelp forest. So
what level are we looking at for these guys?
So, Fly is 4th. Hallucinatory Terrain is 4th. Invisibility taken at 4th is 4th. Invisibility taken at 2nd is 2nd. which we haven't gone down to here.
So would I put it in the 4th level spells?
Yeah, if it was taken,
in 4th, yeah.
We
have a lot of competition at 4th right now because we have spiritual amnesis, phantasmal killer, fly, hallucinatory terrain, and invisibility, and we can only take 3 of those.
Yep. We can also have, let's see, at 2nd, it doesn't, Sharkstresses don't really do a lot of energy. We could have mirror image at 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Regular invisibility if we want. We have illusory creature already on there.
Risky says Water Walk is 2nd, but it's on everything but occult.
Joe asked, how well does invisibility work underwater? Well, when we had to put out... oh, thanks for subscribing, Nitrace. When we had to put out a more detailed Aquatic Adventures book that I worked on, I looked at it, and it sort of leaves a bubble around you when you're underwater and have that at 1st edition, and then you kind of need a different version of it.
What's Animus Mind? Or Animus Bomb?
Kitsune says, underwater rule, ask Kate Baker. So, Kate has had to write a lot of adventures using the underwater rules, but I wrote the underwater rules.
Hold on. Can you not flip for a minute? I need to pull some things off here.
Oh, what?
So we have calm emotions. What's Animus Bomb?
Animus Mine is a...
Animus Mine.
It's like a rare or uncommon
okay, so we probably don't want to give it more uncommon stuff.
From,
Water Walk,
Gods
which
and
isn't a
Magic.
thing. How well is invisibility? Just leaves a void. Grim Tendrils.
Let's see. But yeah, Animus Mine is one more if someone tries to read your mind, it explodes.
Okay. Excuse me.
Nitrace got a new job and hasn't really been
Congratulations on the new job.
Thanks and congratulations. Let's see. The Shasta sense electricity movement like real life sharks. They don't. Their special sense is shark blood scent. And
they have imprecise scent at a range of 100 feet.
That's right.
Alright, so the other ones we didn't have incorporated are
there's
calm emotions and grim
It's
tendrils.
it's actually not uncommon. It's just in Gods and Magic. There you go then.
Mm-hmm. So we can do Animus Mine.
We could take it.
Alright, Animus Mine,
It lasts an hour, so if the Shakshasa is stupid enough to mind read us when we have up all this anti-mind reading thing, it's gonna get screwed.
Okay. And what about calm emotions? What level is that? 2nd also.
Also 2nd.
You know what? Okay, now
calm emotions is a good one too.
Okay.
It's a burst, so it might be able to calm all of the sharks.
Okay. So we need at least one more 3rd level spell, and we need a couple more 1st level spells. And the other spells we have more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
And are gonna need to pare down. So what do you guys think for 3rd and 1st level spells?
So yeah, let's take a look at some more 1st level spells. And we could always take True Strike since it's one action. It's usually easier to use, although not necessarily if we're doing a lot of composition spells.
Mm-hmm. And this, I feel like the weapon's gonna be more of a backup, and the spells are gonna be more powerful here with the accuracy and damage that.
Mm-hmm. And we don't have any spell attack rolls.
Do we want to take Soothe so that the Leshy has some way to heal themselves in between battles?
Let's see. We've got True Strike and Magic Missile.
Well, actually, we could take True Strike.
Warlock says, "I wish Negate Aroma was legal, but it's primal." Aqueduct mentions Feet to Fins, which also I think not a cult. Risky mentions Fireball, and which is also not a cult right now. Soothe.
Non-detection we've already got on the list.
Soothe for a 1st level spell and possibly a signature spell to be able to heal and give a bonus against mental to help against the fear.
Fireball.
Yeah, I think Soothe is definitely
all right.
a good idea.
Fireball 3rd level. So
wait, Fireball is not. Right. Linda, a lot of these are not occulted. I've even literally said they weren't occult before you started trying to write them down.
Oh, were any of the ones I've written down not occult?
Did you write down Fireball, Feet to Fins, or
no.
Lightning Ball? Okay, then you're fine. Just don't write down Fireball.
Okay.
Alright, so Soothe.
Soothe us down.
Okay. Non-detection, Trippy said, but we have that one so far.
So Soothe is a signature spell.
All right. And Powerbeard said haste, which we have.
Yes.
Trippy Darling says Shadow Blast. At level 5 can do 5d8 of the damage of your choice, so we can put that as a potential for level 5. And then Consuming Warlock says Zone of Truth. Although I'm not sure that would help us hunt this Sharksasa, but it could be an interesting spell anyway. It's uncommon though. Let's try not to take too many of those.
So we need one more. Third level is the only third level, and cantrips are the ones we still need. So we need one more third level spell.
Also, the Whirling Scars actually weren't uncommon.
Did the Gods and Magic spells just not become uncommon?
Some of them are, I think, but some of them aren't because deities needed to have them on their deity list, and those aren't supposed to be uncommon. Now that I think about it.
Yep.
Alright. Risky says, let Linda give the lesson.
No, Linda wants to follow the rules. Linda was just typing a little too fast in that one particular case.
There we go. And Akadoken says slow is always useful.
So they could have both haste and slow.
Slow is a good one, too. If you can get the Sharkshasa to fail against slow and it's got one fewer action each round, that's just a huge advantage for the lesson.
Okay, so we can go with having both haste and slow.
Alright.
So in terms of signature spells, you said Soothe?
So with NPCs, we don't have to take signature spells at every level. If we do, what we do is we just put it in at every level. In addition to the ones they would normally have. But you'll see some NPCs that don't have all their signature spells.
Does that mean
it just blows out the list.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So does that mean it would need one more first level spell?
No.
No, you just weren't
that we put it at all the other levels.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
But we could put Soothe and Illusory Creature signatures and then just not worry about the other signatures.
Yeah. So speaking of turning things, actually we need to do cantrips too.
Yes, we do need 5 cantrips, but they don't really matter that much.
So we can just grab them real quick. Let's see.
Projectiles don't go very far under. Well, I guess it's got a magical spell range, and we can throw piercing. So we can just grab that as a spell attack roll. Haha. We can grab telekinetic projectile. Shield. Prestidigitation, just because.
Maybe no direction for keeping track of where you are underwater.
Sure. And detect magic.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is that 5?
That's 5.
All right. There we go.
All right, just do those real quick since those aren't as.
Yeah.
In no direction.
Well, it's no direction to put under. Ninja by Linda.
Numbat said Chol Touch. Powerbeard said Dancing Lights.
Numbat also suggests Daze and Forbidding Ward. I think Forbidding Ward is great, but probably not if you're by yourself. It's in fact one of the best cantrips to do because it can give a pretty big buff.
And Daze would also run into that same issue of being alone.
Daze is an attack spell. It does do damage.
Yeah.
So
we could do Daze instead of
Telekinetic Projectile does a lot more damage.
Yeah.
But if it critically fails against Daze, it is also stunned 1 for a round. But if we're gonna slow it, then we don't need to do that. But I mean, we could throw in Daze as a second attack. Risky Bards cannot have Electric Arc. It's primal.
Okay, so we do. I think we're fine with this list because we do have an attack and we have no direction.
Sorry, says how strict the NPCs need to be. It's tempting to give some primal spells. And honestly, even after I said it was primal and we were like, do we add fireball? Are we following the rules? We could give it some primal spells because we said it was kind of a little bit of a druid.
Yeah.
It depends, but they'd probably be low-level primal spells. So we could give it Electric Arc that it learned from being a druid.
And that would be listed as innate primal spellcasting? Or how would that be listed on here?
That would probably be listed as a primal spell. Or actually, just to make it simpler, we could just put it in its occult spells.
So
because it's already pretty complicated. So, but it probably wouldn't have very high level of. I mean, in theory, if it had lots of multi-class feats, it could actually have fireball at this level.
Yes. Well, I'll just put Electric Arcane instead of Prestidigitation, so we have that little.
Yep, and we could put it in on top to be like it has the 5 from Bard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It got an extra 1 from taking multi-class.
Because it would have taken multi-class to get that. Okay.
In theory,
Sounds
right?
good. Sounds good. Okay. So it's got a little bit of multi-class and it's got electric arc to
But if it actually had anything beyond cantrips, it would have to prepare them if it was a druid and not have them in the spontaneous spells.
And that would be really complicated. So let's stick to the electric arc.
Yeah, let's get electric arc. As part of that, it has light druid elements because it works for the druid circle.
Alright, so let's see. So an illusory creature is its signature for that level.
So that means you have to reproduce it every level above second.
Non-detection? Does level matter on that one?
It does.
But it doesn't matter on haste and slow yet.
Non-detection level matters, but because it's fighting Sharkshasas, and the Sharkshasa is going to give it most at 3rd level mind reading.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if we do take Animus Mind, we don't even necessarily not want it to be able to mind read us.
Fair enough.
Because it will take massive damage.
Massive damage. Should we want to get... Okay, anyway, but I'll put it on non-detection for now.
So, Linda, why don't you prune down those spells while I'm looking
good.
at some other things. So, let's take a look at compositions. Obviously, it should have Inspire, Courage, and Counter Performance because that kind of is traditional and classic for a bard. But I'm thinking that we gave it so many things, and we kind of had to for the spells, right? That maybe we shouldn't give it a ton of performances, but maybe we can put in something simple that affects its performance. For example, what if we said that it has Inspire, Courage, and Counter Performance, but that the one extra damage from Inspire Courage is actually good damage instead. And that's its special ability, because Sharkshasas have a weakness to good damage.
Oh, yeah, that's
And so it could give all its eyes, +1 to hit, but instead of +1 status bonus to damage, one good damage. As just sort of like a little variant on Inspire Courage. And then that could sort of be what makes its compositions. Now, it does mean that we're not going to have one of those, like, underwater, all of the sounds overwhelm you with extra heat. But we could consider that. Like, the question is, do we want this to have even more special abilities? For a monster, we would create a lot of monster abilities. But for an NPC, if it has a lot of things that are, like, totally beyond what a PC could have, PCs are, like, might be like, why don't my bard's abilities do that underwater if sound does that? And if it was missing things, we would still give something to the NPC, right? I mean, there's ones in the Game Mastery Guide that can throw apples that could probably kill a skeleton. But this NPC seems like they already have a pretty good a lot. Trippy Darling says at level 9 can you inspire heroics to give +2. We could take Lingering Performance or Inspire Heroics if we wanted to. If we take Counter Performance, we already do have to give them a focus pool. So, if we want the ability for if you're solo, you might want more action economy, so Lingering Performance might actually be more useful than Inspire Heroics to try to get the higher bonus. Just in terms of the Sharkshasa is very fast, and any action you spend on that Inspire Courage is not one you're chasing them if they're running or dealing with their other actions. And Yosarian says bagpipes tend to linger as well. So
that's true.
You know what? Let's go with Yosarian and Trippy on this and give them Lingering Performance in addition to Counter Performance as focus spells. So it would have Lingering Performance too.
Yep.
As focus spells. So its focus spells are Counter Performance and Lingering Performance, and its focus cantrip is Inspire Courage, which probably goes in the regular cantrips. You can look at the Lilend Azata.
Yeah, I'll worry about formatting
Lilend's actually
later.
prepared, I think, spontaneously prepared or something like that. They're focus spells instead of having them as a focus
I
spell.
will. I'll look up some of the exact formatting stuff before
All right.
So, do we have Dirge of Doom or not?
At this point, I think we have enough different things.
We have a lot of stuff going
Trippy
on.
Darling says that it can be an Enigma Muse with all the sea lores through Bardic Lore and extra linger if it's Enigma, or extra linger through Maestro if NPCs get a Muse. So Trippy, we don't have to pick a Muse for what abilities we're giving to it because we're just trying to make something that's easier for the GM to run. But in the lore, we probably want to think about what the Muse is. It's something associated with these druids, right? And it's a sea leshy that works with some sea druids. It might even be that their muse is Gazra as a Gazra as the enigmatic mysteries of the waves and the skies, or Gazra as the music of the ocean. If we want to do a maestro, or it doesn't have to be Gazra either. But we might want to think about it not in terms of having to write special features for it, but in terms of the lore of this character. Altro says, why not both? Yeah, it could be a multifarious seeming muse. But I guess what Trevi is saying is, if it is Enigma, we could put Bardic lore up at the top instead of fishing lore, and then mention that it has Bardic lore, which is true. And if it was Maestro, it would get lingering. So if we wanted it to be both, we would probably give it Bardic lore instead of and the Bardic lore would have to be lower because of the fact that Bardic lore applies to everything, but it never goes up very, very high. So it's probably going to be at the low end of low because it would be at trained. And it's not got a very good int. So it's probably like 13 or maybe even 12, actually, with a +0 int.
So it could have like fishing lore or something like that of 16, or we could do 12.
We could do Bardic lore 12, which could apply to everything.
Yeah. So then we get rid of fishing lore in that case.
Yeah, we probably don't need fishing lore. I know it would be higher, but if it's got Bardic lore +12.
+12.
Yep. Alright. Oh, and Eltro says the reason Gazra would be a muse could be both. And yes, but the reason that Gazra is the muse being both, the reason is what matters for which type of muse you have. And Gazra being a dualistic deity, it makes sense to have Gazra as a multifarious muse anyway. I mean, that Gazra would be like, why didn't you take me as a multifarious muse? Do you really understand me at all?
You can only recall knowledge.
Yes, we can't actually earn income. That's true. So if we want to earn income as a fisher, we would need +16 fishing lore. That's a good point.
Or maybe we earn income as a fisher.
Yes, maybe we earn income by killing sharkshasas.
And performance.
Oh yeah, we can just perform.
Yeah.
With a better bonus.
All right, I'm gonna ask a question that we're probably not gonna get an answer to because we're really bad at this because it's really hard.
Okay. What?
Name.
Oh yeah, name. We need name, and we also want gender and pronouns.
Yes.
Now, Leshy's being a spirit of nature incarnated into a plant. Definitely, as you can see in the last entry, they sometimes have a gender identity that seems like a immortal ancestry, but they don't always. Because they are a immortal spirit incarnated into a plant. So we can figure that one out together while I am also... What was I gonna do? Oh, I can't remember.
You're gonna give people XP?
Oh yeah, I was gonna give people XP. That is exactly what I was gonna do.
Yeah, I figured it out.
You figured it out. Okay.
I hadn't seen that tab come up.
Yeah, I haven't given it since nearly to the beginning. So.
All right. XP dump.
XP dump.
Okay, so.
Does Bardic lore give cooking lore? It lets you recall knowledge about it. Yes. All right.
All right. Numbat says they them. Sargassum for a name.
Could have Sargassum for a name.
I mean, Leshy names like that is actually pretty fitting for some of the Leshy name stuff. I can, because Leshies can have names that are describing features that they say that they really that they think are interesting or beautiful or that they connect with in nature.
And given that kelp is a type of seaweed and sargassum is a type of seaweed, it could work. Let's see.
Kelpie, bite the ones that bite.
Kellen.
Looks like we have another vote for they them. Okay, so we have So we have Sargassum, Kellen, and Kelpie.
Laminariales is the order for kelp. So it could be... Yeah, it could be Lamina or Aerialis. Elftro likes Kellyan. Kitsune likes Kelpie. Wouldn't Kelpie get confused with the monster Kelpie, says Joe Jungers? I was also thinking of that. The Hawaiian name for a shark is Mango.
Laminae, Tangles of the Sea. Oh, I like that. And another thing I put in the Leshy thing is that Leshies also don't necessarily keep to one name. They may have names that they change around. Like, I have a Leshy character who rotates her name based on the season.
Yep. We had, Verdant Tailweaver, which is one of the sample names.
Yes,
and
Verdant Tailweaver, Snowy Pine Branches, Tumbling
Azure,
Acorns, and Azure
Dawn Blossom.
Dawn Blossom are her names depending on the season.
I didn't know the fall or winter ones.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten to that season in our game, which we're actually playing after this. We're going to be playing
Iron Fang PF1 with the original Vine Leshy. All right. So,
looks like
people like Numbat, so let's do Laminae Tangles of the Sea.
Laminae Tangles of the Sea, and they sometimes go by, because they is what is we got for...
Yeah, we've got they, them.
Yeah, so Laminae Tangles of the Sea, and sometimes goes by Lammy.
Yep.
Sweet. Alright, that was, like, the best naming thing ever. Naming is usually not a strong point. Good job, people.
It depends on whether or not people can coalesce around one or not, like that, that treasure monster.
Oh my god, the treasure monster that has, like, 17 names.
That's right.
So anything else, or are we good?
Let's see. I think we have everything that we need right now. Once you winnow down the spells...
I did winnow down the spells.
And did you have that Inspire Courage would do 1 good damage?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see that there.
I didn't technically pick which ones were the focus ones for, or... They're not focus.
It doesn't need to have signature spells at the higher
every level.
levels.
Yeah, I didn't pick signature
It'll just make it more complicated.
Yeah.
But if it wants to have illusory creature and soothe, it should really have that.
Yeah, I've marked those two, but yeah. Oh, I won't bother with
it. It's like if you give them Dispel Magic, you should give them at a bunch of levels. All right.
Makes sense.
All right, everybody. So, we've got Laminae's Tangles of the Sea, and we'll get it up there.
They are awesome.
Yes, they are.
Yay. Okay, I will get that up line.
Let's say goodbye to YouTube, and then Sarah, last few things. So, bye, YouTube. See you next time.
Bye.